In the late 1970s and early 1980s, in this particular case, the land in dispute was said to be owned by indigents who inhabited the area and inherited it from their forefathers, up until when they were allegedly asked to vacate the land by the state government at the time to be used for public purposes. They weren't satisfied and headed to the courts, where they got a Supreme Court judgment in their favor in the year 2012. They want enforcement, and that has led to a face-off. For current residents, they say continuous harassment by security officials who are said to be implementing court orders restoring the land to its original owners is uncalled for and is illegal.
You will recall that we came out on the 21st to protest against the presence of armed policemen in our estates. We came out to protest against the marking by Ex-Ikeja and co, purportedly sent by a group of people to come and take possession of our properties.
The seriousness of the matter, as well as the potential for a breakdown of law and order, has brought Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu to the area.
Can you call your superior in Abuja and tell them that the governor is here and I'm the chief security officer and that you don't have any business being in my state right now and that I want you to disengage forthwith from here?
It is not my duty to call because I'm too low to do that, sir.
I'll make 2 phone calls, right? One to the Inspector General of Police. I have spoken with him this morning and he says he knows nothing about the fact that they are still here. Very illegal operation. They have absolutely nothing, and I'm the chief security of the state. Not even with the Inspector General wrote me, and before I said Jack Robinson, his men are here. They're not from the Lagos State Police Command. Like you have said, right? They are not from Lagos State Police Command. He says it's coming from Abuja. And I don't know what other interest do they have beyond just keeping peace of the country.
Governor Sanwo-Olu then goes to consult with some authorities before returning to make an announcement.
I've spoken extensively with the Inspector General of Police, the Honorable Attorney General, and we've resolved all of the issues. Tomorrow, we'll be inviting, the representative of the judgment creditors. We have actually started a committee meeting, but I want to invite them again officially to my office tomorrow by 11 o'clock.
Away from the estate, a representative of the original landlords of Shangisha raises the issues that have brought his people to this situation.
In 1985, our houses that were built on the land were demolished by the then military governor of Lagos State, claiming that the area will be used for international hospital and other program that will benefit the masses. After the demolition, we find out that the area is being laid out and being shared by civil servants and eminent Nigerian citizens.
This is not the first time an attempt aimed at enforcing court orders has been made. On 21st December 2021, an attempt was made to enforce the Supreme Court order of 2012, prompting the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in Lagos State, Mayosore Onigbanjo, to issue a statement clarifying that the order being talked about talks about reallocation of 549 plots of land in the area and not repossession of land, which is what the original landowners are doing. All eyes will now be on the meeting of 5th January 2022, where residents of the estate, officers of the Nigerian Police Force, and members of the original Landlords Association of Shangisha are expected to arrive at a mutually beneficial conclusion for all parties.
Also, it appears an end is in sight. I mean, there's going to be a meeting today by 11, as the governor did say. But to look at some of these matters from a legal perspective, we've got Mr. Additional Ogunlano, who is the former chair of MBA Ikeja branch. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Morning, gentlemen.
Wow. It does appear that there seems to be a lot more to this matter than what is being seen at the moment. But having looked at this case, listened to the AG of Lagos, the governor, the residents, those who went to court, what's your impression of what is going on?
Thank you so much. The impression of what's going on has only reinforced the position of my organization, the Radical Agenda Movement in the MBA, Ramimba, that Nigeria is a jungle. It may be impolite, that may not be a delicate language, but that's the stark truth. Nigeria is a jungle. A jungle is a place where might is right. And right is not determined by law, legality, legalism, constitutionalism, just by muzzle.
Well, how does that play out here? Because they said they're enforcing a court judgment for which they've been in court for a while, yes. And that's the basis of this back and forth, is on a legal basis. So wherein then does
that's what I'm telling you. If it were not a jungle, how will it be a matter that a case will go traverse all the way from the High Court, Court of Appeal, Supreme Court, and then yet to execute becomes a difficulty? Why must that situation even arise in the first instance? I think it was this studio that mentioned the issue of the higgly-piggly situation of the man with the knock-knee. You see, when somebody with a knock-knee is carrying a load, according to the observation of my forefathers, they will say, this gentleman, why is your load like this? Well, you are looking up, you are not looking down. If you look down, you understand. The foundation of the problem is rascality, executive lawlessness, executive impunity, emasculation of the judiciary. That's what's playing out. And it's the fact that you have a situation of a standoff, of a face-off at Magodo. It's only because it's a clash of the titans.
How is there an emasculation of the judiciary here?
Is it not clear? It's clear. How do you emasculate the judiciary? There's a court order. If there's a court order, you are supposed to ordinarily even give obedience to it. But is that what we do? Is that what we do in Nigeria? Is that what the authorities, the greatest lawbreakers in Nigeria, are the people in government? So you have a situation. We are talking about the Supreme Court. If there was a story that we used to tell us at the law school those days, that was it a magistrate that ordered the commissioner of police in 1972, or Dauphin Bailey or so, to come down, to come and appear, and he came immediately. There was a High Court judge who gave another to Adamushi Roma, the then Commissioner for Finance, etc., about something. There was a meeting of the Supreme Military Council on that one. He came down.
Okay.
So, but these things have changed. Yeah, so.
Did you listen to the response of the Attorney General of Lagos about what those who are said to have been judgment creditors, how they are going about it?
Yes, I listened to him. Essentially, what he was saying is that the order they were talking about, that is about reallocation, resettlement to some other place, and not repossession as they are touting. I chose to accept that statement by the Honorable Attorney General, Mr. Muisori Onigbanjo, with a pinch of salt, because he's serving our government. When I talk of this government, I'm talking of Lagos State government now, being a continuum.
Did you see the judgment?
No, I've not seen the judgment.
So
Just a minute.
Why would you accept it with a pinch of salt?
Why not? And that's the reason I want to give you. That look, Lagos State government is involved in this issue. In fact, it's the principal confucianist. You took people's land wrongly. You took it purportedly to serve the public good. But what you do, and what they have been doing in other places in Lagos State.
Let's stay with this particular one, so that I don't know what they've been doing.
No,
elsewhere.
I think you're
one.
unduly editing me, because if you want to lay a foundation, I'll give an explanation. You don't want me to go to that. You want me to just to confirm. If you want me to confirm
what we're
to
discussing
yourself,
is the Magodo estate standoff.
Yes.
And you want to talk about what they've been doing elsewhere. I don't know what they've been doing elsewhere. There's no court judgment of what they've been doing elsewhere.
Let me tell
you cannot talk about what they've been doing elsewhere that we don't know.
Let me tell you something. If you say...
That's what we invited you here to discuss, by the way.
Just a minute. If you say, and you're being very sincere, that you don't know, the only thing you know about issues of land and conflict of interest in Lagos State about Magodo, that's okay. I'm not going to quarrel with you about that. But I don't believe you too. But let me just say this. The issue of Magodo, the issue of... I don't want to go to Magodo again.
No, Mr. Golana, I think we should make it a lot more civil. You were invited to discuss the Magodo estate standoff. So we're discussing the legal provisions before us, the judgment creditors, and the position of Lagos State. That is what we're focusing on. So I don't know how you come about wanting to edit you. That is far from the case.
Oh, so I should be constrained to a narrow pool. Thank God you say I was invited. I didn't post myself. So don't make it as if you are doing me a favor. And I want to say this. There is no way you can say somebody wants to make explanation and you are now saying what is... Except it's been excessive. I've not even... I was at the times now I want to make explanation. Even before I delve into it, you've acted the oracle by understanding what I've not even said.
My apologies, Mr. Gundano.
Okay.
Let's look at the issues. There are three heads in this issue, as it would seem.
Yes.
The Lagos State government is, you have identified the Lagos State government.
Yes.
The Magodo residents themselves,
yes,
they are a head.
Yes.
And then the Shangisha Landlords Association,
yes,
they are a head.
Yes.
Who is the victim here? Or who are the victims here?
Both of them. The people who owned the land customarily before and was taken out, and the people who allocated land by government. Because if you buy land from government, you are supposed to ordinarily be assured. That because, what can be more legal than government? That if you allocated land by government, it is not a money level. Okay. This is not a private something, it's government. So ordinarily, presumption of regularity, everything is in your... It's in your favor, and what else do you need? Okay. What assurance do you need? Then, unfortunately, now your otherwise strong interest, almost unassailable, ordinarily unassailable interest in the land. Somebody has gone to court, and then the Supreme Court is now saying the government that gave it to you was wrong. So now, and you've built. It's not even now, baby, vacant possession. You've been living there. Magodo Estate, whether phase 1, phase 2, or Shangisha, it's been more than 20, 25 years. It's been built, you've been living there and all that. Some people have resold and all that kind of a thing. And then somebody now comes up to say, I have a Supreme Court judgment and I want to take the land. You are perplexed.
Well, if I could read out the comments of part of what the judgment... what the Attorney General was reading. He says that the judgment read, quote, a declaration that members of the Shangisha Landlords Association whose lands and or buildings at Shangisha Village were demolished by the Lagos State government and or its servants or agents during the period of June 1984 to May 1985 are entitled to the first choice preferential treatment by the Lagos State government before any other persons in the allocation or reallocation of plots in Shangisha Village. And I make the order against the first, second, third, and fourth defendants, particularly the Lagos State government and Land Use and Allocation Committee, as agreed in the meeting held on 16th October 1984 with the Ministry of Lands and Housing and Development Matters. Now, if this is what the judgment says, as read, they're arguing that what the landlords are going to do is repossession, which the judgment they didn't give. So that appears to be the bone of contention. Or is the repossession and this the same thing?
If you know exactly, repossession, reallocation, talking law, talking technically, are not exactly the same thing. Okay. But if you look at the wording, the way it's worded, I mean, without even looking at extraneous something, it will suggest, it begins to suggest that reallocation did not, unlike what the Honorable Attorney General was mentioning, reallocated somewhere else. I'm just taking what you have just read now and trying to interpret it quite very sincerely. It will begin to suggest to me that reallocation is in that place. It didn't mention any other place. I wouldn't know how it is couched, and I wouldn't know the latest, because what one have to very sure of is, for example, this particular thing, maybe the landlord, the Shangisha people, ought to have been asked to react specifically to the understanding of that, and I'm talking of Attorney General as Lagos State Government, because this is the Chief Law Officer. So I'll take it as the position of the Lagos State Government, their own understanding. Now, are these people now saying, because going from this one, it didn't say outside of Shangisha. Does it mean, is there any still land that you could say you could get up to 545 plots of land in this Shangisha? I don't know the expanse of land. You understand? And like I was saying before he read that thing out, look at these other people too, these owners of land. For you to understand how land and property is to Africans, yeah, I hope I will not be asking, I'm going outside. You see, it's a psychological thing for us. When you have an ordinary accommodation, any seasoned lawyer will know that landlord-tenancy matter, often you cannot solve it by law. Ordinary landlord-tenant, because the African attach a lot of things to where he lives. But not to talk of land.
Yeah, but those are sentiments, and rightly so. But then I don't know how sentimental the law is.
Now, well, let me say this. Law is not sentimental. Well, there are many schools of thought, jurisprudence about law. You have the realist, you have the positivist, and then you have what you call the social jurisprudence. Law cannot exclude the morality of the people, cannot exclude the psyche of the people. For example, if there's a law now in Lagos State House of Assembly to the effect that when you wake up in the morning, parents should prostrate, Yoruba parents should prostrate to their children, it will fail. It is the law. So if you ask a positivist, you say, that's the law. That I will now prostrate to my child is the law. But will it happen? It doesn't. Okay, look at the law about not spraying money and all that. How many people have been arrested? How many people have been... Because it does not... It's the law. Okay. In fact, it has sense. But because it's yet to aggregate with the perspectives of the Nigerian, it's not yet been...
Perhaps it's in the communication of the law or those policies and all to the people. But in this case now, I mean, you have said that, you know, the two bodies outside of the Lagos, yes, they are victims. So yes, how this issue will be resolved now? What will be your recommendation? The governor has said in that address, you know, to the press that there's going to be a meeting at 11 a.m. today. Yes. So Magodo Residents Association was not joined in any of the cases from the High Court to the Supreme Court in whatsoever manner, shape, or form. And the Shangisha Landlords Association, there has been some measure of resolution with some other heads, but to some others, it's either Shangisha or no other thing. So what are the things, both legally and otherwise, from the perspective that you are looking at?
Thank you so
what
much.
Are the recommendations you would consider that should be taken
Let me first appreciate the government of Lagos State, or the governor, of taking the initiative. If it's I think it's been ongoing. It cannot be absolutely new. This idea of calling everybody to come and to a round table and try to trash it out. Now, our people say, if it's a man-made problem, then it's man that will solve it. This is not a spiritual problem. This is a man-made problem. And I want to say that law cannot solve this. Law cannot solve it.
Why?
Because if it were a matter of law solving it, it would have solved it. If you are in a very orderly society, you understand, very orderly society, law will solve it. But when you are in this kind of a society where it is a matter of might, okay, look at the gentleman from Abuja, the policeman from Abuja. I was reading reports and I was laughing. I saw them even dancing. I said, "Where are you? Where are you from?" They say, "Well, we are from Abuja." Malami said he doesn't know about them. Baba Gadim, I think, the IGP said, according to the governor, what we read for the governor, said he's not aware. Now, what? And they're there. And for a CSP, ordinary, a CSP, especially to defy the governor, it's not a new thing. I'm telling you, the governor was actually kidnapped by policemen. That's in Gigi many years ago. Rashid Ladoja was stormed by thugs at the secretariat, as governor of Oyo State, and police were looking on. A commissioner of police said of Ruth Timamichi that is a leopard, but I will tame him. I'm a lion, I tame him. That's, if I'm just to show you that the idea of the governor saying I'm the chief security officer is in theory. In practice, it's not, because of the kind of system we are operating. In fact, I think the commissioner of police followed the governor, if I'm right, or there was a clip I saw, the now newly promoted IG. He was just looking on. What can he do? Because we are, like I said, indelicately, we're in a jungle. So that's why talking law, strictly law, because as your Bible will say, there's no side you ask in the conflict that will not have supposedly cogent reasons. Okay. So now what you do in this kind of situation is to bring the African principle of dispute resolution, which is different from the European way, which is litigation. Litigation is adversarial, it's combative, it's ego. But this one, like if I were to be there, if I have an opportunity to give them advice, it's going to be a give and give situation, win and win situation.
What would it be?
You said,
what would your advice specifically be to all these parties?
That's what I'm going to say. Now, if the truth of the matter is, look at the reality on ground. It has happened, Place is built up. Place is built up. Somebody was saying, how was Ojora, the issue of Ojora in Edo, and what was it set under Governor Fashola? They got, 7 up, giant companies were all over the place and everything. We didn't hear, that's a way. And that's going to be, if I were to give advice, is the Lagos state government that's going to bear a lot of brunt of this settlement. The people, we have to appease to the genuinely aggrieved people. We have to agree. We have to, first of all, if I'm mediating, I would say, let us agree that if indeed the allegation that Lagos state government took your land and did not use for purpose, it's not good, and we are sorry. But it has happened. A dead child cannot be brought back to life again. These people now, even they themselves have been 20, 25 years, some of them even bought from other people. Do you want us to, even if they vacate this place today now, if they vacate this place and move out, do you want to inherit the houses, or you want to clear? Do you want to clear? You want to bulldoze all this place and all that? Somebody talking like will say, quick plantanto, Solo said it. Whatever is attached to the land belongs to the owner of the land. But in the reality of our existence, will that be fair? So the very first people to appeal to is these Adega-led people, and not to be berating them as being unreasonable, as being adamant, that even they are able to get to this point. I'm telling you, it's not because of law. It's because of connection. This is the truth. It's the elite conflict. This is the truth. I don't want to be pigeonholed, but this is the truth. There are other places where I see nothing happened. That's why if it's in jungle, you flex muscle. If you are going on the traffic, you are either a soldier or a lawyer. When the policeman say you say, Baba the law, go. Soldier, go. But this is under the law. They arrest
So
him.
the judiciary is for the big boys.
This is the truth. Unfortunately, this is the truth. This is the truth. In theory, everything is okay, every access to justice and everything. But in practice, there are some concessions. When you are big, when you are a big fish in an ocean, there are some things that are given to you on account of your clout. You
I
understand?
thought the judiciary is supposed to be, doesn't matter who comes before me, this blind justice is blindfolded.
I like your preface. You said supposed, presumed, you know, imagined. But the stark reality.
So the judiciary now wears glasses.
Anyway. Not that, okay. But they don't wear blinkers, you know.
Let me. There are other issues that have been thrown up here. Is something that you also referenced earlier, which is the land acquisition right of the state.
Yes.
On the one hand, we say that the governor owns the land in the state. He's the custodian of the land for the whole state. But now we have a case where some landowners have taken government to court and won against the government. Yes. So that's an issue that has been raised there. How do you see the law, addressing this issue over time? I asked that against the premise of some of the issues that you were attempting to raise. Today it is Lagos, Magodo. Tomorrow it could be somewhere in Ilorin, it could be at Takumosa in Osun State, it could be anywhere else. What are the things that you would recommend? How would you want this resolved?
Thank you. It comes to the idea of social responsibility. You see, first of all, the governor does not own the land. Okay. You understand? He holds it in trust for the people. And when you are a trustee, you are supposed to be fidel, to be responsible, to be judicious, to be fair. You are a trustee. You are not supposed to waste the asset. You are not supposed to be lopsided. You are supposed to be fair. You understand? So, and it's for the purpose of rapid economic development that the Obasanjo government purported, created the land use charge to free it from the stranglehold of traditional customary ownership and all that. So now, when a governor or a government says, I'm acquiring all this, okay, look at where you are now and everything, and somebody comes tomorrow and says that we are acquiring this place because we want to do a giant hospital or something, which is good and everything, and pay you compensation, and if they pay you well, and you just move, only for you to now see tomorrow that is now a private golf resort of one, what the gentleman say, eminent Nigerians. See, the truth of the matter is this. Many eminent Nigerians are actually irresponsible, anti-Nigerian, unpatriotic people out for their own selfish interest. And you are locating this land. If for example, if that place, look at how big Magodo is really turned into a truly public facility, not a private empire of small holdings of people. Therefore, people now look at these our people and say, why are you complaining and that kind of a thing? But that was not done. So now the question is not there's a conflict, it's the dearth, D-E-R-T-H, dearth of adequate social sense of responsibility. When you've been giving power and trust for people, use it properly according to the law. So the law in Nigeria is theoretical. In practice, it's put to something. Some people go put a lot of pressure on these governors. I want a land. I want that. I'll give you this place.
So does it then mean that that Land Use Act, this might give it a different meaning? Because if government comes and says, well, citing the Land Use Act, that we want to use this space for development, and then you find that, or is it that they have to tell you specifically if they are taking your piece of land, what they want to do?
Yes.
They have to specify.
In fact, the gazettes, by law, you know, so that there won't be an issue of rapine, that you just take people as anyhow. It must be they call it overriding public interest. That's the general language couch, overriding public interest. If a place is taken from people traditionally holding it or people even bought it and like your own place here, for overriding public interest.
And I see that other people are coming to occupy it.
To occupy
so what if to me, this is not overriding public interest?
So you go, yes, the law allows you to go to court to set to set that acquisition aside. It's the law.
Does that raise any necessity to adjust the land acquisition authority that states have?
No, sir. It is the Nigerian that we need to reset. It's the issue of the constitution we talk about. Is the issue of the laws, enforcement, and all that. It is you know. Oh, how do I put it now? It is the driver. Even if a vehicle is not so good, but the driver is good and let me be careful. There's a way he can still manage even a cranky car. But if a driver is reckless, is irresponsible, and everything, even with a very good car and everything, he crashes it.
But so if the car is still very good in Lagos, they can still hit you even if you are driving very well.
No, you don't understand. Well, you are talking of external factors now. But it should not be that it is you, the driver, in control of the vehicle that itself has the problem. So it's the people in levels of governance generally.
Unfortunately, sir, yes. This particular vehicle you are talking about has been driven by so many people over the years, since 1976, 1984.
Even before then now. Before then, and what else I say, but it doesn't mean that because we have been doing it this way, we must continue doing it that way.
Which is why I ask, should we adjust the law?
No, it's not the law. Okay. No, it's not the law. What the law expects you, okay, look at the intent of the law. You take the land from some people and for the benefit of the public, that is Benthamism. Jeremy Bentham, that's the philosopher of law who says that a law must be for the purpose of the greatest number, the happiness of the greatest number of the people. That's the purpose of the. So if a governor takes over a place, maybe you are 2,000 people that are living there, but I want to use it for the benefit of 5 million people. Of course, that's better and is properly done. Then nobody will query that governor. That's the intent of the land use. So I know there's no way when you make a law absolute without a caveat is going to be abused. Okay. Fortunately, the law is built in with some caveat. And that's the caveat that these people had gone to court to say, no, this is not how. Just like the issue of arresting of a criminal and everything, criminal suspect. Yes, it's good. You should apprehend somebody who has committed a crime or about to commit a crime. But when you put him in custody, you begin to torture him, you begin to extract things from him, you are now going outside of the law, even though you have the power of arrest and detention, but you are now going outside of this. So that person can go to court to challenge that way you are exercising your power. Okay. That's what has happened in the issue of the Land Use Act or Land Use Law in Nigeria, where it is land. For example, look at what happened in Ibadan, Lagos, Ibadan way, when something was expanded and everything, things were cleared and everything. Nobody will complain about it because they said we want to take your land because we want to expand, which millions of people will use. That's fair enough.
Okay. Well, I guess lessons are learned. So if people want to buy land now,
let me quickly say this before I go away. That I hope the meeting of today, I hope it succeeds. But I don't think it's going to be a one-off thing. Real experienced, level-headed, calm people should superintend over this meeting. Appeal should be made to people to drop their ego, right, left, and center. The issue of our estate, you cannot come and take our land. Then these other people too appeal to you. Look at the reality. If it's a problem caused by human beings, let human beings solve it. It's not demons that cause it. It's human beings.
Okay. Well, we hope that they can just listen to take some of this advice and ensure that things are sorted and peace reigns, which is what we want to see everywhere. Absolutely. Actually. Well, I want to thank you very much indeed, sir. Mr. Adesina Ogunlana is the legal practitioner and former chairman, Nigerian Bar Association Ikeja branch.